a centerpiece. 20 looks a table from ebony. That I bring to skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face and I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't feel shit. Switch up my sides to any lane. I switch up my core, kill any pain.
Hey y'all, long time no speak, but I'm back, so I don't even have to go into why I wasn't here. Just know that I'm back. Today I'm going to be talking about thrifting, going through what the Goodwill bins is, how you can find clothes for like $1. So yeah, let's get into it. Usually when I film these type of videos, I kind of narrate what you're seeing on the screen, but today I'm just going to give you guys tips and information about the Goodwill outlets while you watch me shop at the Goodwill outlets. So this is going to be a question and answer type of thing. So the first question is how to thrift. Well, the first question really is, what is the Goodwill outlets? Okay, the Goodwill outlet is the clothes that don't sell at the Goodwill store. So what they do is they put all the clothes in bins and you kind of just pick through everything that they have in the bins, which is why I often call it the bins instead of Goodwill outlets. I don't know, the bins just sounds more fun, I guess, like, ooh, we're going to the bins, you know, instead of, ooh, we're going to the Goodwill outlets. And it just rolls off the tongue better. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to be calling it the bins. The difference between the Goodwill outlet and the regular Goodwill store is the setup, one, and the pricing. Those are the main differences. At the regular Goodwill store, everything is organized most of the time by color or type or age group. Like you'll have the children's section, the women's section, the men's section. Very organized, on racks, hung up, super easy to shop. In most Goodwill stores, everything's pretty organized. If they have pants, they'll probably organize it by color or organize it by size. Very organized, straight into the point kind of thrift store. That's how the Goodwill store is set up. The Goodwill outlet, on the other hand, some might say it's very much chaotic, which it is, you know, everything's put in bins, nothing's organized, and you have to sift through a bunch of clothes that probably aren't your size. At the bins, you can't just go to a bin and it's gonna be labeled women's. Like, no, everything's just piled together in one bin. There's no type of organization at all. And the clothes are switched out every hour or so, depending on the store. Some might do 30 minutes, some might do an hour, some might do an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I used to go to this location every week, so I would say I'm pretty advanced bin shopper. And I've also been to a location in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Queens, New York. So I've experienced different environments of this. This location is like the most chilled environment that I have been to. In New York, it was way more chaotic than this. The people were literally insane, and I experienced firsthand people who look like they shop for Depop at the Goodwill outlet and sell the clothes for like major prices. But actually the one in New York was the best thrift bins experience I've ever had. Stuff that I found, bro, I have a video on my YouTube so you guys can watch that, but I found so much name brand stuff. Literally my dream came true at that trip in New York, and I was only in New York for like 5 days, so it was just a blessing. All those things like fall into my lap. Just watch the video and you can hear all the details about that. There also is a difference in cost, which I think I briefly said. So at the Goodwill store, everything is individually priced. Most of the time it's priced by section. So most of the time it would be like, oh, women's pants are $7, which is insane. They increase their price so much. I don't even like stepping into Goodwill, honestly, unless I find something that's super, super cute or a brand that I really like. I don't really enjoy going to the Goodwill store anymore because it's just overpriced. The location that I go to in Broward, it's $12 sometimes for a pair of True Religion jeans. I understand that that's True Religion, but it also is Goodwill. You know, Goodwill needs to really start humbling themselves because $12 for a thrift store is just insane. You're supposed to be able to get 4 items for $12, you know? At the Goodwill outlet, on the other hand, you pay by pound, and clothes usually don't really weigh that much. Jeans weigh more than like a cotton t-shirt. So if you get a lot of jeans or like heavy jackets and stuff like that, the price will add up. But if you get like small stuff stuff like silk tops, or if you're into like little dresses and stuff like that, then you can get a lot of stuff for a very small price because the things don't really weigh that much. At this location, I think it's like $1.39 per pound. In New York, it was more. I think it was like around $2 per pound. So at different locations, it may be different prices, but generally it should be under $3 per pound. If it's over $3 per pound, I don't know what to tell you, boy. That's kind of excessive in my opinion, because I'm used to paying $1.39 per pound. In the end, it kind of is worth it to shop at the bins because of the pricing, but the experience is a completely different experience than actually shopping in the store. I honestly would say it is pretty unsanitary. There has been times where I went and I'm digging through clothes and all of a sudden I'm touching wet things, and that just made me super uncomfortable, which is why I would recommend wearing gloves. Personally, I'm a gremlin, so I don't be wearing gloves at the Goodwill Outlet. I can't even lie to you. I like to feel the fabric, and that's why I don't wear gloves. It is unsanitary, don't get me wrong, and I know that it is unsanitary for me to be digging through random stuff without gloves on, but I do make sure that I don't touch my face while I'm there. I wear a mask so that like dust isn't flying in my face and breaking me out, because that could happen if you're not really cautious and you're like touching your face after touching the clothes, or you know, trying the clothes on, which you should not do. Then yeah, you're gonna have breakouts and stuff like that. That could actually happen. So I definitely recommend taking precaution. If you're sensitive to stuff like that, definitely wear gloves, a mask, pull your hair back, you know, be cautious. Don't touch your face or try not to touch your phone too much, or sanitize your phone after. You know, just be sanitary for your own health. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Obviously, I've learned my lesson because I've touched underwear in the Goodwill Outlet before. I've touched wet stuff. Wet from God knows what kind of liquid wet it, but it was wet. And it made me very uncomfortable. As you can see, I've been shopping for a while. Sometimes when I go to the Goodwill Outlet, I take like 2 hours. I feel like if I take 1 hour, I didn't really look. If I take 2, then I'm like, okay, I kind of did like a good deep dive into the bins if I take 2 hours. If I take 3 hours, I know I found something good, because 3 hours is a long time to be there. Or if I take 3 hours, it might have been because I waited for them to put in new stuff, since they do switch out the clothes every hour or so. If you take 30 minutes to look, girl, you're not gonna find anything. This is something that takes time and patience. If you don't have time or patience, don't go, honestly. I mean, you can go one time and probably find some good stuff, but the more you go is the more you're going to find good stuff. You know, thrifting in general is not something you can just do one time and expect to find all the stuff that you see people finding online. Like, no, the people who find this stuff is because they go very, very often. So their luck and chances is way better, because they're going like multiple times throughout the week or multiple times throughout the month. They're taking the time to go thrifting, and that's how they can find such good stuff. Your luck might be crazy, and your manifestation skills might be crazy to where you go and you just find your dream closet one time, one and done. But for the most part, that's just not how it works. So I would definitely say set aside a lot of time to thrift, because maybe you could go to the Goodwill bins and then visit the store as well, because that's what I do sometimes since it's right next to each other. But it's honestly up to you. Definitely you're going to need time and patience though. Like, that's a necessity for thrifting alone, but especially thrifting at the bins, you're gonna need a lot of time and a lot of patience. Eat before you go, bring a water bottle, bring a snack. This is serious. This is serious. And if you're hungry, you're gonna want to go home. You're not gonna have the patience for shopping there. So definitely eat before. If you're a coffee drinker, drink some coffee. Do what you gotta do to really prepare to shop. Like I said, nothing's organized, so it really doesn't matter where you start. If you want to do it in an organized way, I would recommend starting from the back and going up to the front, or starting from the front and going to the back. What I personally do is I start in the accessories, because it's the easiest thing to look through and the fastest thing to look through, so I just get that out of the way. And then after I go through the accessories, I go through the clothes. Or if they just put in new bins, I'll go through the new bins first, because I'm more likely to find find something good than the stuff that's already been picked over. So it just kind of depends on like what's going on in the store, what you're looking for. If you're not really looking for any bags or shoes, then you can just go straight to the clothing, or you can even go to the houseware, because they have houseware, they have fabrics, they have sheets. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. It doesn't really matter unless they have put out new bins. If they put out new bins when you walk in, look through the new bins first and then look through the bins that have already been sitting there. If they're switching out bins, then I recommend looking through the bins that they're switching out, since they're going to be gone, you know? So yeah, it just kind of depends on what's going on in the store and what you're looking for. So what I do is, since everything's piled up, I will take stuff from the top of the pile and throw it into a bin that's next to me or in the same bin. And I just kind of dig through the clothes like that. So I'm taking stuff from the top, throwing it to the next bin, the stuff that I've already seen. You can look for specific types of fabrics. If you wear specific colors, you can look for specific colors and just kind of like grab a bunch of stuff off the top, throw them to the side. You're really digging. You really are digging, like as if you're digging for gold or digging, I was gonna say digging a grave, but that's really freaking dark, so I'm not gonna use that as an example. Dig the dirt off the top and you throw it to the side, and you just keep that process going. There might be other strategies, but this is what I think works best. The thing about this though, if you go to a crowded bins with a lot of people, it's kind of harder to do this strategy because there will be people next to you looking through clothes. And there was actually this one time in Miami when I was doing that, because that's just how I shop, and this lady, she literally got so mad at me and started throwing clothes at me because she thought I was throwing clothes at her, which I wasn't. I was literally just trying to like dig through the clothes, and she just happened to be next to me, and that really ruined my time there. And I honestly very hesitant to go back because of that. But I found a Fendi bucket hat there. I only found 3 things there, or 2 things: a pair of True Religion like pinstripe pants, which I've never seen before, and a Fendi freaking bucket hat. So I kind of do want to go back, but the people there, they're so trash. But I don't think I would be able to film how I film in this location, in the Miami location, because it's just crowded, chaotic, loud. It's just a lot there. When you find something that interests you, I suggest you just put it in your cart and keep going. Like, keep the flow of the work. Don't look at it too long. You'll have time to look at it at the end, which is what I do. Like, I'll have a cart full of stuff and I'll only leave with like a quarter of the stuff in my cart, because I'm just putting stuff that slightly piques my interest, because I'm not really trying to take too much time looking at stuff, because I have to use most of my time looking through stuff. Okay, so if you find something that slightly interests you, just put it in your cart and keep it pushing. Keep the workflow going, because at the end you could just take your time to actually look through it, look if there's any stains, holes. It smells weird, it looks weird when you look at it up close. It might not be what you thought it was when you first glanced at it, you know, so it might not be your size, stuff like that. So I definitely recommend, if you find something that slightly interests you, even slightly, just put it in your cart. Even if it's something like, I don't really think I'm gonna get that, just put it in your cart, because you might think about it later down the line and you won't be able to find it again. So I definitely recommend doing that. I do not, like I said in the beginning, I do not recommend you try on the clothes. The clothes, I don't even know where they came from before they put them in the bins. They could have been like in the back room with a bunch of dirty stuff, you know, so I do not recommend trying on the clothes. I mean, I could say the same thing for the clothes at the Goodwill store. You know, you don't really know where the clothes are coming from, how they stored them, whose house it was at, what warehouse it was sitting in. But I still do try on the clothes in the Goodwill store. I don't know, something about the outlet though, it just feels more dirty. Like, it feels more unsanitary. Like, I've never tried on the clothes at the outlet. I think one time I accidentally tried on a jacket because I was just so into the video that I was making, and I swear I felt like I had ticks. And this blazer to crop the fact that I just put this on, but I think it was all in my head because I tried on a jacket from the bins that it just made me itch. Had to go home immediately. So yeah, I don't recommend trying on the clothes. I see some people, they bring measuring tapes. That could probably help if you know your measurement. Then you'll know if the clothes will fit you. But you just have to kind of look at it, maybe hold it up to your body, or just bite the bullet. I mean, you're paying $1.39 per pound, so it's not even like it's like a really big loss if you buy something that didn't fit you right. And if you know how to sew and stuff like that, you could just turn it into something else. So yeah, don't try to clothes on, just don't. So now you have a cart full of clothes, you went through it, you know what you're gonna get, you put back what you're not gonna get, and it's time to check out. What do you do? At the Miami location, they weigh your cart. This location, you just put the clothes in the little basket that they have on the weight. And I think at the New York location, they might have weighed the cart too, or you put it in a bin also. I can't really remember because that was like 2 years ago. But for the most part, you're going to weigh the items that you bought, like I said. And then they calculate it by category. Some categories are less than other. I think clothes are like the most expensive one, and then they have, if they have wear, like house items and stuff like that, it might be less per pound. For fabrics and sheets, I'm pretty sure it's less per pound than clothes. But essentially, they're just gonna weigh it and then calculate your total. Most of the time, your total should be like under $20, depending on how much stuff you got and how much that stuff weighs. I don't usually spend more than that. I think during this trip, I probably spent like $12 or $10, and I got a bunch of fabric and only like a couple little clothing items. I didn't find too many clothing items there, but I did find a shitload of fabric for like $10. And you know, fabric can get expensive. So now you checked out, they weighed your stuff, they told you your price, you Apple paid, card, cash, whatever form of payment you enjoy doing. And now you're on your way home. You're like, oh my gosh, I just found all this cute stuff for like $10. I'm so happy. You do the math and you're like, wow, I just found a shirt for basically $1. I'm so happy. Time to go home and try on the... No, don't do that. When you get home, I hope you had hand sanitizer in your car or however you're getting back home. I hope you had hand sanitizer in your bag. I hope you put some hand sanitizer on before you got in your car. And when you get home, I definitely suggest you put those clothes in the washing machine. Anything that you bought, I hope you sanitize it. Well, I suggest you sanitize it before you do anything. And while that stuff is going in the washer and while your stuff is in your sanitizing solution or however you sanitize your stuff, take a shower. Take a shower. I don't know what it is, but after I go thrifting, and this goes for thrift stores and outlets, I always feel so itchy. Like I don't know how to explain it. I always, like, never fails, I always feel itchy after I come home from thrifting. So I'm just saying take a shower because the way that I feel after, you may feel the same way, like you have like a film of dust or dirt on you, because that's just how it feels like when I get back. Especially if I go to a thrift store and I tried stuff on, like I always feel dirty. Like I always feel like there's like a layer of dirt on my skin and I just get itchy. So I definitely suggest showering. Like a shower after thrifting is like one of the best showers ever. Like it's like taking a shower after the beach, you know, you just feel so like reborn. Anyway, that's what you should do when you get home. Wash the clothes, sanitize the items, and shower. And afterwards you're probably gonna be hungry because you just spent like all this time at the thrift. So you could probably get something to eat, chill until your stuff is washed, and then you finally get to like try it on and really see it in its true form after being washed and went through the dryer and stuff like that. And you can truly enjoy the things that you found at the Goodwill Outlet. Yes, we love that. That's pretty much it, guys. This is my first video back on YouTube, and like let's not talk about that. Let's just say I'm back and I'm better than ever. I graduated college. I moved out of my college town and I'm living a new life now. I'm gonna find a job soon out here. And yeah, I have a lot of content though. Like I've been filming, I just haven't been editing or anything like that. So I'm gonna have some vlogs for you guys, some old, some new, but it's all gonna be as if it's the present tense. Stay tuned for the thrift haul, the items that I found during this trip, because that will be coming to you guys probably the same week that this is posted. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, let me know in the comments down below what your feelings are about the Goodwill Outlet, the Goodwill bins, the Goodwill store, thrift shopping in general. Is this a good video? Did this video help you? If it did, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Toodles!